Try to keep the interviews between 15 and 20 minutes.
Okay.
Something like this doesn't require a whole lot of editing, as
Okay.
long as you don't cuss or anything. Doubt you will.
I don't think
So,
I'll be doing that, but I do have a little godchild here with she's in school, so I need to go and quiet her down for a minute or two. So I'll
sure.
be right back, okay?
Okay. What I've been doing lately is I've been asking my guests after the interview to send me like a 1 or 2 sentence description of themselves or 1 sentence description of themselves. So that's what I do. So if you just send like 1 sentence, and I like it that way because it's you describing yourself. So I don't have to worry about if it's being edited properly. You're just going to take it as you give it, as you send it. And then
Okay.
also with that, any type of link that you can include or an address where people can send donations.
Okay.
So if that's a PayPal account or a website or whatever it might be. So the way I wanted to start today is just to ask you for our listeners, our viewers, to give a short description of your ministry and how and why you started it.
Okay. Well, first, let me say thank you so much for opening up your platform for us to talk about Rhonda's number genius. And the reason why I started it and how I started it, I've always been an advocate for the homeless. And I was volunteering and I seen this little old lady. I wanted to, I said, Lord, I said, what can I do to help her? So just a thought came in my mind, and I know what it was, is that to open up a home for women. Almost 2 years I kept like putting it off and putting it off and putting it off. But once I opened my spirit and said, okay, Lord, I'm going to do it. So that's how I kind of got started. But then the next thing was it's like, well, I don't have no money. But the Lord revealed to me that I did have money. So how I got started is that I threw money out of my 401k account. And
Mm,
that's how I got started. And
mm,
once I really opened my mind up to do the ministry, I was able to come in contact with the realtor, with the tax person who started my 501 nonprofit paperwork. So
yes.
all of that came into place once I finally opened up my heart and said, okay, Lord, I'm going to.
Give me the name of the ministry again.
It's called Rhonda's Another Chance.
Now, who is Rhonda?
Okay, Rhonda was my sister. When I was going through trying to figure out like a name for the ministry, it just dawned on me. And Rhonda was a sister of mine, a very open, loving person, but she was an alcoholic. That's how we lost Rhonda is due to her drinking. She was in an all abundant house with some other people, I guess, drinking, and her liver exploded. So
Mm,
that's how she lost her life
goodness.
from alcoholism. So I decided to name the home after her, Rhonda's Another
Okay.
Chance.
Is it accurate to describe it as a transitional place,
Yes,
facility for homeless women?
yes,
So these are women who were homeless for whatever reason.
yes.
They come to your place as a transition back into so-called society. Is
Right,
that
right.
accurate?
Yes, yes. And our goal is to help women to get back on their feet and to find some safe, affordable housing. That's what our
Mm,
goal is. We don't try to do the mental health issues and all that kind of stuff. We network with other agencies that's in our community for those
mm,
kind of issues. But our main goal is to sit down with you and say, okay, now what is it that you really want to do with your life? And most of the time, it's like, I want to get my own place and I want to get my children back. So that's the main thing right there.
mm.
So we kind of sit down with them and they set goals that's going to fit their needs and then we'll take it from there.
I think the popular term is whatever their demons might be. They've
Mm-hmm.
already made a decision. I'm trying to put this drug addiction behind me, alcohol addiction behind me, whatever
Yeah,
it might be.
yeah,
They've already made that decision.
right.
Only thing you're sort of doing, this is extremely important. You're just sort of partnering with them and say, hey, you got a friend, you got a partner who can
Exactly.
help you go from point A to point B to point C.
Exactly. We give them nice, quiet peaceful home. Each woman has her own room. We don't have them stocked out all in one bedroom. Each woman has her own bedroom. When you come to the home is peaceful. And like after going through what you might have been through the whole day, a peaceful environment is what you really need. And it helps out a lot as well.
You help out in other ways, or do they have jobs? Are you giving them jobs?
Most of the women do have jobs, and it works better when you have a job because the way that, especially now, the way that the economy is now, there are no more free rides. I tell my women, all this $10, Section 8, and all that, that's over. All of those days are gone. And you have to have some type of income in order to move to the next step. So that helps out a lot as well.
Are there issues with them getting to their jobs, or that's something they've already resolved?
Well, luckily, Louisville is pretty well as far as transportation, bus transportation, and we're centrally located, like I said, close to a bus stop, grocery store, post office. So that really works out well for us.
And that was a conscious decision on your part to be centrally located.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. Everybody doesn't have a car. Everybody can have a car, and it's short. You'll miss that thing. You're either going to do a lot of walking, or you're going to catch local. What was it? Part. I think it's part 3.
So I think I recently read a stat that said that 30% of families in West Louisville don't have a private vehicle.
Exactly.
But you go to other parts of Louisville, like in East Louisville, it's almost unimaginable not to have a car.
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing about it is in the area, they have everything. You can just kind of walk to it, but that's a whole different story right there.
Right. Do you provide other services other than just saying, hey, okay, let's sit down. We're going to do goals, look at some goals. One of the main goals is to get you into housing. Are there other things you offer to the ladies?
Like I said, we work one-on-one with them. So not only do we kind of like see what the goals are, one of your goals is going to have to be financial because you're going to have some kind of money once you move out. Mm-hmm. So we like to have our women to either have some kind of savings account or something in order of that. Right. Because that's going to help her to get off her feet. Because like again, you don't get any free rides. Our agency also, we have a post closet for full pregnant women. Mm-hmm. But not only is that for the ladies if there's a need in a home, but for any lady that's within the community. We have a food pantry that's not only for the women in the house, but for anyone within the community. So that's kind of how we kind of help out not only the women we serve, but other women in the community. And really and truly, if any woman calls and has a need, we really try to help her with her needs. No matter whether she's in our program or not. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. And then sometimes I might know somebody that knows somebody that can help this woman.
Obviously, being homeless, period, whether you're male or female, is a tough gig. But are there problems that are sort of unique to women who are homeless?
Just being out on the street. Can you imagine? And you have to understand, I just don't deal with women in recovery. I have also professional women that come through our program that have been teachers, that have been bank administrators, and life happens. If you get sick and you don't have family and you can't pay your rent or your mortgage, guess where you're going to end up at? You're going to end up on the street. So can you imagine? I've always had everything I needed. Now I'm out on the street. So,
and if you have children, you're really dealing with something.
Yes.
Because I noticed you said it earlier. You may ask them, well, what are some of your major goals? And they said one thing you brought up was reunification with my children. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, guys, I would imagine that guys in that situation, that wouldn't be anything that would necessarily come up.
Exactly.
I don't know why, but a lot of times it doesn't come up. I used to help the homeless ministry. I noticed with the guys, I would ask them, when was the last time you seen your children? They'd have to stop and think. Dude, are you kidding me?
Right.
Seems like with a woman, it hits them more emotionally.
Exactly. That's just the function thing, that we have that kind of nurturing for
yes.
That kind of special love, and that's for and children.
I don't know the exact number of percentage. You're not just really looking for housing for that adult, but for that adult with a child or children,
Exactly.
whatever. I can imagine.
Here in Louisville, it's hard to find a lot of times. It's not
Mm,
affordable. And when my ladies transition out, I want them to transition into something really nice. I don't want them to like transition into like a dump.
right.
I just want to operate like it. I want the best when I bring in the income that I serve. I want the best for her. Whenever she transitions out, we're going to make sure that she has nice furniture, that hopefully she's in a nice area that she's comfortable with, that she can afford.
And how many do you usually, on average, have at your facility?
Okay, the home is set up for 4 women.
Mm-hmm.
And each woman has, like I was saying earlier, has her own room. She does her own cooking, and we have 3 bathrooms on each floor, so we don't have a problem with that at all. The house is like decorated. I always wanted the home, even though it's a transitional home for homeless women, I wanted it to be really nice. I wanted a place where I would feel comfortable going and staying in.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the type of home that we try to really have and present ourselves.
Do you stay at the facility?
No,
And is this sort of like what we would call your full-time gig?
no. That's just my ministry. I have a full-time job. I work for a chemical company, and then I
Mm-hmm.
have a home-based business as well. So
Right.
then, when the Lord was putting this all on my heart, I be like, how am I gonna do it? How am I gonna do that? But it just all comes into play. So the women that we have in the home, they have to be open, they have to be honest, and they have to be really ready to get their lives together because I'm not one there every day. I'm looking on these shoulders and kind of doing the thing of like, see how clean, you kept the room and all that kind of stuff. I have to have those mature type of women.
Right. What are some of your major needs right now? You could probably accommodate 1,000 more. Because from what I'm hearing, homelessness is a serious issue here in Louisville.
Yeah.
But what are some of your needs?
The main thing for any ministry, I don't care who they are, the main thing is like money. We can always use money. You
Okay.
don't get a break with OG&E and water and insurance, that kind of thing. Other than that, some of our other needs is just household items, like poetry. We have 4 women now, and we're not an agency that says, well, you got to bring your own toilet paper or resources for you. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to make sure that you have all the poetry that you need. Our pantry, we were getting more calls of people needing like food. So our pantry is kind of getting more like canned goods. You can always use canned goods and fresh meat and chicken and bread and that kind of thing. As far as volunteers, we need volunteers like on special occasions, and they can check my website. I try to put it on the website like we need volunteers.
Mm-hmm. Give us your website address.
And our website is www.rhondasanotherchance.org.
Repeat that for me. Sometimes some of my listeners are a little slow, sis. Repeat that for me.
It's www.rhondasanotherchance.org.
So we go there. We can not only go there and see about volunteer opportunities, but we can also go there and donate. Is that correct?
Yes, we have what you can do, where you can pay by PayPal if you want to use your credit card. We also have a cash app, $$, Rhonda's Another Chance.
Mm-hmm.
So that, and then like if you wanted to like mail a donation to us, those are different ways of donation. Donate.
And I would imagine any size is appreciated. Would it be $5 or 5,000 or 50,000?
Absolutely. Even household items. We don't have any room right now, but when a lady gets ready to transition out,
Mm-hmm.
9 times out of 10, she has absolutely nothing.
Nothing. Wow.
So then we have to kind of go out. Hey, you have anyone who want to donate? You have to have a full size bed because I'm not a twin size bed person. So I don't want my ladies to be doing twin size. Now, if it's for the kids, fine, but not for grown women. But that's just me.
Okay, right. And you are a 501c3. So when people make that material donation, they get a deduction for that as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, they do. Sometimes a lot of people don't realize that.
Yeah,
They don't realize that. You can get a deduction for that. You give your receipt, you can get a deduction for that.
Exactly.
So real money, material goods, household items, and then 3, go to the website for volunteer opportunity.
Right.
Okay, great. Sis, we're going to end it here so my guy doesn't have too much work to do and we just get this out there. And as soon as we do, as soon as it's edited, we're going to get a copy to you and then we're going to post in all our usual places.
Okay.
One place I'm going to go to, I have a buddy of mine who does a weekly radio program on 970 AM. I'm going to ask him to see what he can do to promote this interview and maybe even have you on. I run a nonprofit too. I used to run a nonprofit up in Hartford, Connecticut. I know what you mean. What do you need? Money.
Yeah.
When do you need it? Yesterday.
But I don't let the money stop me.
Right.
Whatever my needs are, I mean, I go, okay, God, now. Me and God are partners.
Right, there you go.
Okay, partner. How we going to do this? So it always, and I can't explain it, and I won't even go through try to explain it, but everything always works out.
Well, that's fantastic. We will be in touch.
Okay.
We'll definitely be in touch, and we will promote this. This is like one of my priority videos for my guy to edit. I just did an earlier interview today with a guy out of Washington, D.C., but I was letting him know that we're probably going to sort of put you before him.
But thank you so much for opening your platform up. I really appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you taking your time out. We appreciate what you do, sis. It's a real contribution to the city of Louisville. A lot of times people just don't know who's doing what out there.
Exactly.
How important it is. Very important. I can't imagine being in a situation where, let's say I've come out of drug addiction. I got nothing. Well, what am I going to do now?
Yeah, but again, it's just not drug addiction anymore. It could be any of us.
Anything. That's an important message to know, sis.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll be in touch, okay, sis?